Hello students, the session is on how to prepare your resume. So I have titled it Your Resume, the First Step Forward. So anyway, by the next semester you will be taking up the placement activities and your placements will be beginning. So definitely you will need to prepare resumes which will be striking to the recruiters. So let's just have a small session on how to prepare your resumes. So while writing a resume, everybody thinks there's a huge headache. That is, how do we prepare a resume? What all things have to be included? So is it a huge headache? For some of you it might be yes, some of you it might be maybe, it's sometimes. But definitely preparing a resume is not a big headache. Try to think of your resume as an award winning short memoir about your educational summary, your professional experience, your experience as other activities in the college or during the MBA program, what all you have enriched. That is how you have enriched yourself, all those things you can add into your resume so as to make it attractive to the recruiters. But resumes tells the truth, differentiate you from others, highlight you from unique qualities, and capture readers' attention. So definitely, as you market yourself into the job market, definitely it is a resume of yours that is going to differentiate you from other people who are around you or the other candidates who are applying for the same job. So make sure that your resume is catchy, it is brisk and brief, and as well as it has got all the relevant aspects that is regarding your professional and as well as your personal interest, your other achievements. Everything is communicated in a very good pattern. So how do you differentiate between a resume and a CV? How many of you know that? Many of you might be knowing, but I'm just mentioning the difference between a resume and a CV. The primary difference between a resume and a CV is in the length and the content. A resume is just a brief summary of the educational qualification and experience of the candidate. A CV, on the other hand, is more detailed and has information relevant to the requirements of a particular job. So generally we call that is generally for the freshers or people with less years of experience, we call that as a resume because they only have very little things to be projected. But whereas very highly experienced candidates, that is, they have a lot of experience to be shared through their that is biodata, and that is what we call it as a CV. So I hope that now, while preparing the resume, these are the questions that definitely is going to rise in everybody's mind. There are so many conflicting recommendations out there from everybody. What is to be included? This is the current trend, this was an old trend. So, what we have to do? That is a very, very confusing question. Should you keep it in one page, or should you have two, three pages, or should it be more than that? There's one confusion or a question that is means that can come to your mind. Second one is, do you put a summary up in the top or do you have to include it somewhere in the middle? Whether the summary is required, should there be a career objective in a resume or should I not have a career objective? Do you include personal interest in the resume? How do I put up my campus experience within the resume? Whether I should have references or not? All these are the doubts that comes in a candidate's mind while preparing a resume. But one big thing you can do while preparing a resume is that your initial few sentences, that is what I put the title as open strong. That is, you open your resume in a very, very strong manner. The first 15 to 20 words or first few sentences of your resume are critically important because that's how long you usually have a hiring manager's attention. That is, as a hiring HR person or a recruiter skims through your resume, the initial words he or she goes through that will definitely that is take you ahead of other candidates. That is whether you have to be initially chosen or not, whether you can be that is you'll be called for the interview or for the test or not, that is being decided by your initial part of the resume. So being a fresher, you can always have in your resume a brief profile, which is that is what I've shown on the right side on the slide. A profile where you can actually use, that is, you can say like this: I am a BCom graduate from University of Calicut, graduated in 2019. Currently, I am pursuing MBA at Naipunya Business School, or currently I am the final year student of MBA in Naipunya Business School. So that can be your that is a brief profile. How you mentioned, that is what is a summary of your profile. That is what is means that can be used in a fresher's resume, whereas experienced candidates can have their experience summary initially. Along with this, in the top of the resume, you should have the heading resume and then all your contact details. That is your name, your address, your mobile number, your email ID. Photo is optional. Some cases that is, some of you might opt to keep the photo. Well and good. If you're keeping a photo, keep a formal photo of yours. Don't put any kind of attractive that is photos in your resume. So the first section of your resume is a contact detail. Already I have mentioned that is what is your contact detail. This is important because contact details have to be given in a very clear format because this is important for the recruiters or the HR people to get back to you. So this is the first section, contact details. Let others know who you are and how to get in touch with you. In addition to your name, you should list your mailing address. Complete mailing address has to be given. Your name also has to be given as incomplete, your phone number and your mail address. It is expected to be found at the top of the page. No need to include it on additional pages. So your contact details will always be given on the top of your page. The next section is a brief profile, which I have already mentioned. That is, you can mention as I am a BCom graduate from University of Calicut. I graduated in 2019. Currently, I am pursuing final year MBA at Naipunya Business School, etc., etc. This is so that can be a brief profile of yours in 2 to 3 sentences, which you can say. That is just to get to know that who you are or what is your basic profile. Okay, that is you're a BCom plus MBA or your BTech plus MBA, whatever it is. So that can be projected there. The third section is your career objective. There are some of you might say that we need not have that is some kind of school of thought of who explains that resume tips might say that career objective is not necessary, or some of them might say that career objective is necessary. But I find if you are a fresher, it is better for you to have a career objective always. But make sure that you're not copying the career objective from anywhere. Generally, the trend we see is that students copy from Google whatever they get as a career objective, that is being copied and pasted there. But the career objective, if you are including in the resume, it has to be written by yourself and it should particularly suit to that particular opening to which you are applying. Okay, you cannot have a general career objective. Whichever company you are applying to, go to the website of the company, learn about the company. You just see whether what all qualities you have in yourself to that is makes you suitable for the job, and then that is develop the career objective. So the career objective, the space on resume is precious, and as such, every section should pack a punch. So telling your employer something new and important about you, that is what is you called as a career objective. If you don't have anything specific to say, or if you find it very difficult to develop a career objective for yourself, you can very well exclude that section from your resume. That is nothing wrong in not writing a career objective. Already you have given a brief profile about yourself. But if you can develop a very good career objective for each of your, that is whenever you apply to different companies, if you can keep a career objective, that is well and good. Your career objective is perhaps even more important as it sits atop all other information. And it is the first thing employers are likely to read. So always keep it short. Don't have very lengthy sentences in your career objective. How to frame a career objective. Focus on how you would benefit the employer, not on how the employer would benefit from you. Okay, that is what traits in you could be suitable for that employer, that is to that particular job opening which is being given by the employer. Stay away from resume objectives that state your working preferences, such as seeking a team-oriented environment that fosters professional development. These kind of sentences, please don't include in your career objective. These kind of sentences have to be omitted. An enthusiastic and hardworking individual with an MBA seeking an entry-level sales position in XYZ Limited, ready to utilize presentation, communication, negotiation skills to help the organization achieve its goals. This can be one kind of a career objective. That is, if you're applying for a sales post, you can very well put this as a career objective, because for a salesperson, these are the skill set that are required. Presentation skills should be there, excellent communication skills, very good negotiation skills, and that is you are actually using these skill set. This will be useful for the company to achieve its goal. So this is what you're mentioning in that particular career objective. So I've just given an example. You can frame similar kinds of career objectives suitable for you. or to which position you are applying to. If you are applying as an HR executive, that is, you have to frame it accordingly. If you are applying as a financial analyst, you have to frame it accordingly. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Again, continuing with expected session, so we have seen how to frame a career objective. The next section in your resume should be your educational profile or your educational background. As a fresher, your educational profile has got a lot of importance in your resume. That is, you will have to mention from your high school, that is your class 10, class 12, graduation and post-graduation. All these will have to be mentioned in your educational section. Okay, that is what is your educational profile. You can either use a tabular format to display your educational profile, or you can use a descriptive format. But always be sure that when you put in your education profile, you should always mention your year of passing out. And as a fresher, even your marks are also important. Whichever marks you have acquired for that qualifying examination, that also has to be put in. So in your educational profile, you will have to include, that is, which class, which university or institute which you have studied, year of passing out, and your marks. These are the 4 contents that has to be in your educational profile. Either you can put it as a tabular format, or you can use it as a descriptive manner. That is BCom, if it is your call, that is degree, then which university, that is university or institution. That is, you can put University of Calicut or MG University, or if it is any kind of institution, if you want to name the institution, you can put that institution, year of passing out 2018, and your marks, that is what is the grade which you have acquired for your qualifying examination. If it is a percentage, you can put it. If it is your CGPA score, you can put it, but mention what is it. If you are putting it in percentage, put it as marks in percentage. Otherwise, you mention it as CGPA score. The next section in your resume is where you are actually going to put in your other kind of achievements or your accomplishments. Basically, you can put in something that is supporting your educational scenario, that was your internships, your project, and if any research papers you have presented or published, that also can be added. So that will come as a next section, that you can again subdivide as internships, projects, or internships and projects and research papers. So that can be the next section. Then the 6th section in your resume can be based on your leadership and other activities. That is a section which is where you have, that is, you can profile your leadership skills and other activities which you have done during your educational days. That is during your graduation days or during your post-graduation days. But especially when you're applying after MBA, always put those kind of activities which you have done during your MBA days. Not from your school days, you need not put into. Okay, that if you're asked during interview or something, you can just tell about that. Otherwise, you need not put into. Otherwise, it should be that kind of position that you are holding. Suppose you were the school captain, or if you are the that is union chairman in your college. Those kinds of accomplishments definitely you can add, because that shows your leadership quality. Otherwise, always mention what you have done during your MBA days. As examples, I have again given you, that is what kind of sentences you will frame. That is, always use these kind of sentences. Organized guest lecture series featuring over 20 prominent senior managers from the FMCG and consumer electronics sector, or organized any kind of guest talks where such and such person had come into the college. That is mention specifically what you had organized. Coordinated media campaigns and social media for a particular event. Might be your management fest you have been, that is, you have developed all the media campaigns. You can definitely project that. So coordinated the media campaigns or develop the media campaigns and social media for a particular event, etc. Or if you've got any kind of awards like best presenter, or that is best outgoing student, or that is best performer of the year, or anything like that, or best performance in sports, arts, or whatever it is, all those you can. Or if you've got any award for the best paper, you can put in that. So named as the best, there's an example I'm just stating here, named as the best presenter for 3 years in a row. So that is where you are actually differentiating it. Simply putting it as best presenter, or that is putting it as the achiever of the year or something like that. That is how you are ahead from others. If you have acquired that for 2 times, 3 times, or if you have got something in the university level as a debating champion or something like that, all those you can put it. That is where you differentiate. So share your accomplishments, not responsibilities. That means like you organized or you coordinated, okay, or you developed, rather than I was the chairman of the, or I was a chairman of the organizing committee in the management fest. That is not your responsibility, but share what you have accomplished. So that has to be included in the resume. The next section in your resume can be your personal interests and details. Interest areas are always optional. If you have got very genuine interest area, or if you are really interested in some kind of personal interest, like might be you have your own some kind of a baking, that is you're running some kind of a baking business, or if you have got your own kind of some kind of social, that is digital marketing you are doing, all those you can put it as your personal interest. Don't simply put it as reading, singing, dancing, gardening, and all those things which you like you put in your school day hobbies. Please don't use that in your resume. Put in genuine interest. Or if you are a national level player, you can put in that. So that is your personal interest and accomplishments there. And then your personal details should also be there. That is your date of birth, gender, languages which you know, all the languages which you are proficient. Languages known, you can put it directly as English, Malayalam, Hindi, Tamil, whatever languages you know, you can just put it like that. No need to put it with this which you know to read only, to write only. Whichever speaking skills, whichever you are proficient, you can include those language. And the final section of the resume is about, that is references. References, you can always put it as references available upon request, because no longer putting references in style, and do not include it in your resume, especially if it is through campus placements. Your resumes are being forwarded through the college, so there you need not have any kind of a reference. But if you're going through some kind of other channel, if you're going for any, that is you are sending your resume, always you can put it as a reference upon request. If a company genuinely wants reference, they will ask you at that point of time, you can definitely give. It's very important to align your resume to the LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile is just as important as your resume. If you don't have one, put up one immediately. But make sure that you simply don't copy paste whatever is in your resume into your LinkedIn profile. You can just that is write whatever it is in your, you can type into that profile whatever is in your resume, but in a more of a casual manner. Why LinkedIn profile is very important is that for all professional kind of that is recruitment, many of those recruiters are also present in LinkedIn, so it is easy for them to search your profile there also. That is what are the activities, and always keep your LinkedIn profile also updated with whatever leadership skills or any other kind of activities if you take up, update into that too. These are the top 5 resume mistakes generally people make. Please be very careful with the spelling and grammatic errors there. Spelling and grammar errors, missing email and phone information. Always don't forget to add your email and phone into your resume. Using passive language instead of active words. Not well organized, concise, or easy to skim. Sometimes a resume is so elaborate that people just get bored with your resume. So it has to be in a specific order, very brief and concise, which make your resume very attractive. Also, please don't use very small font. Also, don't stuff in your resume with a lot of content where people just don't catch up what is actually needed. Okay, so make it very precise and clear. And your resume should not be very long. Key aspects of the resume content. Crisply state your values and beliefs in the resume. As part of highlighting your hard skills, focus more on outcome in prior jobs rather than a monotonous list of achievements. Always, that is what kind of outcome you are expecting by putting it up. That is your leadership skills. What is a kind of outcome? So that kind of skills only you need to highlight. Okay, simply don't highlight each and everything you have done. If you're just being a part of a team, you need not add that in your resume. You can always, that is, if you have done some kind of coordinating activity, if you have done some kind of a leadership activity there, please include that. Otherwise, as a part of a 25-member team, if you're a member of the team, you simply need not put into that. Okay, so that is how there is whichever points are relevant, that only you add in your resume. Ensure that your resume reveals your personality traits such as leadership, teamwork, communication skills, etc. Bring out aspects that are special and will differentiate you from others. Use special formats, underline, bold, italics, etc. to draw attention of the employer, but do not overuse all these things. And one more thing, don't keep any kind of borders for your resume. Your resume should be really formal. A fresher's resume should include academic achievements. If you're topper in the class, topper of the university, whatever it is, all those things have to be included. The grade point average, that is CGPA, overall grade, and all grades by semester to show the consistency of results, and summer internship projects completed and experience gained from that. Training programs and courses attended. If you have attended a lot of online classes, if you have got attended any kind of webinars, if you have got any certificates, if you have got any kind of training and development programs, all those, whichever, you should have solid proof with you to support that. All those things you can include. Academic distinction ones like honors, awards, scholarships, etc. can be included. Examples of such activities that showcase a personality are as follows: participation in debates, seminars, group discussions, even in classroom on relevant topics. Leadership in conducting events in colleges, such as coordinating a cultural event or a management fest or any kind of CSR activity. If you were the coordinator, you can put it. Representing or leading the college or hostel in a team sport, or any kind of, if you are represented your B school to a management fest, these can be included. These are very relevant for a fresher's resume. So with this I have concluded about that is how to prepare your resume. I think as freshers this would have been helpful to you. At least you have got a certain guideline how to go about your resume. So please, all of you, just prepare a resume based on these tips. If you have got any doubts, you can get back to me. Thank you.